And I am live. Hi. Happy Wednesday. TGIW. Thank God it's the weekend. It's Weekend Wednesday. That's right. It is a state of mind. Get into it. The weekend starts on Wednesdays over here. And soon it will start on Tuesdays. Pretty soon we'll only have 2-day weekdays. Then we'll go down to 1 and then a 0, and every day will be a weekend. But it's TJ, Sykes, and I decided that I needed to come in here because it's Weekend Wednesday. I didn't want to let another Wednesday go by or another day go by without me hopping on and seeing how everyone is doing. I had a really, really lovely conversation earlier today, and it just gave me inspiration to come in. And I was gonna do this anyway, but I thought this was a good time to just come in and do this sooner, and we were talking about healers, and healers need healing as well as people who need other people. And a lot of times healers are looked to be as the strong ones, the go-to, and that is kind of how it is because people look to you as experts in whatever area of healing that you provide. And then sometimes after a while you start to get a little spent. You get spent, you get worn, you get a little weary, and not many people have the capacity or even the thought process to check in on the healer. And I believe that that's something that, because we are healers and we know that it's important, self-care is important, I think it's something that comes from within, and it's great if someone else reaches out to help, but it is something that we always have to be cognizant of to keep our own strength and our own mental capacity to its fullest. So I thought it would be fun. I like doing this homework thing, this weekend homework thing, where sometimes I'll come in anywhere between Wednesday and Friday and just give an assignment. And I hope everyone is completing those assignments. They're all for the good. They're all fun. They're all, I feel like, are super simple. And so let me get into it without further ado. Self-care, healing for healers, and this is all simple stuff. The first one is setting those boundaries with yourself and especially others, and especially with yourself. Because if you don't set boundaries, people will use you up. If you don't set boundaries, you will allow it. You will enable people, and I'm a firm believer that you have to you have to teach people how to treat you. And it's not that they're doing it. Not everyone is being a user, although that does come into play, but everyone is not thinking that they're a user. Not everyone is even looking at it in that way. Hey, Clark, thank you for popping on, boo. Hey. I appreciate that. It is good to see you out in these here streets, girl. I wanted to hop on today because it's Weekend Wednesday, and I'm like, the days go by so quickly, and I'm like, let me get out here and talk to my people. Anywho, so we're talking about setting those boundaries with yourself, especially with others, and especially with yourself, because a lot of times we do ourselves an injustice when we just allow things to be, or when we are afraid to set the boundaries, and it's okay. And as I said before, boundaries saves relationships. Okay. The next one, celebrating all the wins. And you will hear me talk about this ad nauseum because I want life to be a party. I am one of those people. Literally, I do not want the music to stop. I want there to always be something. Always something. And I've noticed that about myself since as long as I can remember. When things change, my heart starts to drop. It's like, oh, I don't want change. And it's not always for the worst, but it's different. In the end, I don't want the music to stop. And so I decided, and it is a decision, you make the decision to do these things, for your own happiness, because happiness comes from within in the things that you decide that you are available for or not. But celebrating all of the wins, and I have even taken to celebrating other people's wins. Let me tell you, okay, so I have my birthday, right? It's in December. And so I thought, I always like doing and saying things for effect when it comes to my parents and my husband. And so, some things can be a little icky, sticky, but I'm just all a little rough around the edges at times. And so I'm like, yes, I'm going to celebrate my conceive month. And then I started counting, like we know 9 months from, the 9-month difference. And so I was doing that just to make them squirm and change the subject. But they just looked, they was like, this fool, this clown, we already know. We're not even going to give it any energy. But I started celebrating my conceive month in real life. And I was good and grown when I made the decision to do that. And then when the day came, like I knew the exact day. I wasn't trying to do that. But when the day came, I would be like, yay! I could see you. And they would just be like, happy conceive, my happy birthday, whatever. yeah, whatever's, And I mean, I got it honest. They're not as goofy as I am, although they have their own set of clownery, seriously speaking. So they can't blame me. But that was my way of deciding to have fun. And there's no rules to this thing. Other than that, you just need to be happy and excited and about life and waking up. And sometimes I'll wake up and I'm excited for no apparent reason other than, which is a big reason, that I woke up and there's another chance. I got another opportunity. What can I get into next type of thing? And that's how I choose to look at it. That was a good laugh. I'm going to have to bring that up. Yeah, I haven't brought that up to either of them in a while. I'm going to have to tell them, yes, I am going back to celebrating my conceive month. And I want to see what they say. Anyway, my own entertainment. Number 3, always be doing what makes you feel good. And it goes back to number 2. Well, celebrating the win is not the same as conceive month, because celebrating the win is every little thing that you've done that you can say, oh, okay, I can tick this off. I've already done that, or I'm this much closer to my goal, or I really didn't feel like going to the grocery store masking up, but I did it and I'm back home. It only took me 35 minutes, 40 minutes, and boom. Yes, that's right. Enjoy life, no matter what. Enjoy life. And then the times when it's a little more painful, just count that all joy too. Just count it all joy. It's part of the experience. And that's how I chose to look at it. And that's kind of what helps to get me through. So always be doing things that make you feel good and seek it out. Even in times when it doesn't seem like there should be any fun. And I'll be honest, I'm always... And I used to think this was pretty immature, but I think I was on to something and just didn't know. But every time some bad news was coming, I would be like, oh boy, here we go. Whether it was bad news or something I just didn't want to do or didn't feel like hearing, I would be like, okay, yeah, well, I'm going to give this a little time. And when this is over, I'll be plotting like what I want to do or what I want to experience next that's going to lift me up out of it. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be an instant thing. It can be gradual. But the point is I am just making the decision, and I am ready, willing, and able to change the negative vibe around me into more of a positive, upbeat, lively one. Because again, I don't want the music to stop. And that's just something that I kind of did all along, but didn't know what it was. You know what I mean? Number 4, create a sacred space or a self-love cove. I love that. Self-love cove. That's really cute, isn't it? Create something like that for you. It doesn't, and my thing is, if you don't have the space in your home for like a big room, it could be like a corner of a room where it's specifically for you to just sort of get into alone by yourself, whether you're just sitting back and reading or praying, meditating, playing with crystals, even listening to music, relaxing, breathing, whatever it is, looking out the window. I really love I like to sit next to a window. When I forgot how long ago this was. It's been a while since I had a chair next to, I like a window next to where I'm getting dressed, like getting my, doing my hair and stuff, because something about it. And I always thought it was something really mature in that it's like old fashioned, but I just really enjoy that, sitting and just looking out and nothing. It may not be anything happening out there, but just looking out right now is pretty hot. I'm gonna close this window in a minute. I feel this humidity. But in all seriousness, it's just looking outside. I even like looking at the houses. I like the nature and everything, but when I look at the houses and the way some of the trees are set up around them, and then you have the sky, and then the way the sun hits the houses, I'm like, boy, that's really picturesque. I think about some of the sitcoms when you see the phony backgrounds. I'm like, that's where they got it from. Duh. But create that sacred space for yourself, just for you to sit and think. Create that time for yourself. Maybe you have a special time on certain days where you carve out for yourself to just chill out and be quiet. Because when I get up in the mornings, what I do is I come down and I will turn off all of the lights that I had on, like the little stove light, all of that. Music that's playing, anything that's playing, any noise, I cut it off, and it's super dark, and I just like walking through the darkness, keeping my mouth shut for a moment to give my mental a chance to rest. Because even though I just woke up, I'll wake up like, oh yeah, and I'm starting to think about all this other stuff, and it's like zip it. Chill out and rest. And I really love that. And I'm not necessarily sitting in a sacred space, but now I've created one. I've created one for myself just by doing that, And so that gives me about 20 minutes of just go through, and I'll say good morning to the house. I'll say good morning to the plants. But after that, zip it. And then the last one, which is a fun one, art therapy. Some people like to journal, and I know that we were having a conversation on the Digital Elixir once, and we were talking about journaling. And I know, Clark, you journal. No, none of us really journaled like that, because there are some people who are really into it every day. However, Clark, you pointed out that it is therapeutic for people, and it's totally true, especially for me when I go to write out maybe my dreams or something, or if I'm writing down, what I am grateful for, before I go to sleep. I love that. Even if it's 3 or 4 things, that's something that you can do to help, just help you reflect on what's good and sort of look forward to more of that in your life. So you identify the things that lead to happiness, and then you do what you can to cultivate that. All right. And now this is the homework for the weekend. This is Wednesday. You have all the way until next Wednesday to be doing this and practicing this. And a lot of the videos and the things that I talk about, it is for you to build upon so that you can just continue to grow and be stronger and be confident and grounded in who you are, and know that your well-being is right there for you. Okay? It's right there. It's right there. Okay? All right. Until the next video, you guys, live simply and be kind. I love you. Smooches.